wrestling with New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax review and preview of week week 4, the last week. Let's say the last week. um and yeah, we did a lot of Matt last week. Our hits hurt. But now that Matt comes to tuition, it's pretty much set in stone. Everything that happened. Still a couple of things that we didn't necessarily expect to happen. But hey, I guess that's G1 for you now.
Oh yeah, that final night was some drama. It was some drama for your llama.
And still, who we need to be, where they need to be, is still there, which is a good thing as well.
That is true. Although some people were there, they ain't got no damn business being there. Wasn't on the bingo card, but hey.
And I think this is the first time you're not talking about Yoshihashi.
Oh no! Thank God. I mean, the G1 gods heard my pleas and has spared my soul. For Yoshihashi is no more.
Well, let's get into it. August 10th, we have A block action. Taichi took an L to Bolton Oleg in 12 minutes, 14 seconds. Taichi, 3 wins, 6 losses, 6 points. Bolton Oleg, 5 wins, 4 losses, 10 points. I mean, I know that Bolton came in as Never champion, but I don't think a Never champion did quite as well as Bolton in this tournament. Like, my God, like 10 points for Bolton Oleg? Like, that's insane.
I know that is weird because usually that like you get that one champion that just goes on a streak and has to like fight for his life with everybody. Fight for his life with every title shot, but I guess they changed their mind and Oleg out here making Rusev look jealous. But
Oh yeah,
but
Oleg looks like $1,000,000.
But hey, that was a solid G1 for him, especially for a guy who's like, I thought he was gonna take his lumps, but they
Yeah,
they gave him more than I thought.
yeah, and I mean that's maybe because they want to give so Gaishings more appreciation, considering all of their Gaishings, even the homegrown ones, left the company because they mistreated them so badly.
We have to show loyalty, but then they gotta push him too, because it's like, well,
Well, I mean, never
you gotta have
champion.
somebody to conquer. You gotta have somebody to conquer.
True, but I mean, he's never champion. He took the L's to the guys that he was supposed to take the L's from, but he took the W's on the ones that didn't necessarily need to take a W on him.
That is true. He beat the people he was supposed to beat and lost to the people that should have been. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, Ewok lost to Sonata in 10 minutes. Ewok got 8 points, Sonata 8 points. Um,
next. Just disappointed. Just disappointed. But anyways.
um, Yoda Suchi defeated Colin Newman in 11 minutes. And Yoda Suchi got 5 W's, 4 L's, 10 points. Newman, 4 L's, 4 wins, 5 losses, 8 points. Honestly, Newman
Mhm.
did a lot better than I think he necessarily should have in this tournament. Um, but I mean, nope. Honestly, this match against Yoda I'll say this: it was the most life I saw in Colin Newman through the whole G1. because he was already eliminated at this point. So it was
Yep.
like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna ruin his, a G1. You know what
Yeah,
I
the
mean?
spoiler.
Spoiler.
And that was the match that everybody had their hopes on because essentially he could have spoiled Suji as we proceed to the next events that happen, but we always said we knew it was Suji's to block. It was his block to lose. He didn't win the block, but he struggled in the block, and that's a good thing because that determined if the people were, like we said, invested in him actually wanting to win the G1 and get the shot. So it did what it was supposed to do in that regard. And with that win, he clinched a spot. So that was the biggest key.
Right. Um, and that brings us to lost my place here. Oh, Hiroshi Tanahashi, taking a L, to Evil, in 12 minutes 50 seconds. Tanahashi 4 wins, 5 losses, 8 points. Evil 6 wins, 3 losses, 12 points. Um, yeah. I mean, Evil certainly, uh, honestly, both guys, best performances they've had in a really long time. I don't remember the last time Tanahashi got 8 points in a G1, and obviously Evil's never done this well. Obviously the top of his block, he won his block.
I mean, I remember I told you the dark horse was evil.
Yeah,
I, I was like, don't sleep on him. I mean, and sure enough, he came through. But I mean, you want to say somewhat dominant because 12 to get 12, bro, you were whooping ass and taking names, and of course he wins the block and gets the buy. That's the biggest key, number one. Even though with some underhanded means, but he won the block and got the buy.
right. Which is the thing, as the heel, what you want to make your face look better when he has to conquer the heel. And then um this was for the last spot in the G1. The playoffs, I should say. Yuya Uemura took an L to David Finlay um in 23 minutes and 1 second. Yuya with 10 points, Finlay with 10 points, but Finlay had the tiebreaker on him, so he advanced to, the finals. Talk about Talk about a dark horse. David Finlay was not on our radar during this.
Nowhere near our fucking radar. The fact that it was a four-way tie with 10 points, and that was, I mean, they literally took it to the NFL with the tiebreakers, bro. It was like, God damn it, bro. And of all the people, Finlay snuck his little ass in there.
Yeah,
I guess that evil win actually. I mean, but honestly, that's what I mean. His tiebreaker and that evil win carried him to the quarters.
yeah. And I mean, again, I said at the beginning of this, Finley's there for one match. It was to get that ass on Evil. He got that
We
ass on
both said
Evil,
that. we,
and
we
he
both said that. We
and he still made it to the finals. Like, like what the hell? But yeah, Asuji, Evil, and Finley all made it to the second to the last night of G1 action. That brings us to August 13th. Um, yeah, B block action. Shingo Takagi took a L, no, took a win on Drillo Baloney in 12 minutes. Um, Takagi ends with 5 wins, 4 losses, 10 points. Maloney 4 wins, 5 losses, 8 points. I think it was a decent showing for Maloney. Obviously Shingo is still, a very big part of New Japan, so have to keep him looking strong in the end, even though he was eliminated. Um, Maloney, I personally don't see him as a major star going into the future, but obviously they saw something in him to put him in this tournament and give him the W's that they did.
Yeah, they did. Which I mean, which you have to say that's a respectable showing. And then you got Takage, who's up and down in the tournament, but ended it on a good note. So that's all he could do.
Right. Yoshihashi lost to Zack Sabre Jr. in 17 minutes 36 seconds.
Which
Yoshi,
is 17 minutes and 27 seconds too long.
there was times in this match where I was like, son of a bitch, Yoshihashi's gonna win this match. Yoshihashi's gonna win this match. You know, if he,
Yoshihashi is not getting a shot at the IWGP Championship.
I mean, if you would have told me that before the G1, I would have believed you. Actually, going into the tournament, it was looking pretty good for him.
It was, but it all came down, just like the G1 gods made it so.
50-50, showing you why he's 50-50.
Now, 50-50 was more like 80-20 in this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody took the Okano's role, it was Zach. He got 7 wins, 2 losses, 14 points. The most out of everybody in both blocks. So, I mean, if anybody did really well in this tournament, it was him.
I know, and I mean, the losses he took, obviously, I mean, he lost to Shota
And
and
Narita.
Narita.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those two, sh- Shota, technically, I mean, maybe they'll see how he looks against Zack Sabre Jr. for the title. You know, figure out what the people think of him in that echelon. So we'll see. And with Narita, we'll see how that goes as well. So, I mean, it, but yeah, that 50-50 was 80-20. He was the Pareto principle in this tournament. That motherfucker 80-20 up in this bitch.
Soto Uno defeated Great Khan in 12 minutes, 5 seconds. Soto ended with 12 points, 6 wins, 3 losses. Okan, 4 wins, 5 losses, 8 points. And it was looking pretty up for Okan at the beginning of the tournament. He just kind of dropped off at the end. But I don't think any of us necessarily had high hopes for Okan to, do anything significant in this tournament, no?
Oh no, hell no. I mean, yeah, we when we looked at the block, it was Saber, Shota. We thought Takagi would have a showing. So yeah, I mean the players that came at the end came through.
Yeah. And obviously Soda, took a, he's in there. So yeah, he advanced to the semis. So
The quarters to
quarters.
core quarters. They call it quarters. So
Well, but whatever it was, he made it to it.
he got in it. There you go.
He's in it. And then the last match to determine the last spot um in the tournament. Colt Kutska takes Shida versus Ren Narita. I was kind of surprised that Take a Shit took a W on Narita. But yeah, 20 minutes, um, um, Taketsuka is in the G1 finals. Well, semis.
I told you, Teixeira did not fly all that way from the Don Callis family to get to this point and just to take a L. He only coming for dubs, yo.
Yes, you were you were technically right about that. But I mean, Ren Narita got the win on Zack Sabre Jr., so he's probably going to cash that in sooner rather than later. So, yeah.
Him and Shota are gonna cash that in sooner than later.
I mean, if Soto wins the whole shebang, I mean, he's not.
Shota's not winning the whole shebang.
Well, I mean, he didn't win this whole shebang.
That we can agree.
Yeah, he didn't. So that that's your G1 finals, semifinals, participants, the people in the
Quarters finals. So
quarterfinals.
yes, the quarterfinal, because the bye gets you. It's six, but the bye is the spot. So
Yeah,
in this case, it was, and in this case, it was, and this is where it confused me as hell as well. So now with this new rule that seemed like they change every year with these goddamn final rules. Okay, so Shota, no, Evil and Zack Saber Jr. both respectively won their blocks, so they were the number one seed in those blocks, therefore receiving a straight up bye into the semifinals, where they would await the winners of the two other quarterfinal matches in which Shota would go against Suji because it was B block 2 versus A block 3, which means Suji technically, even though he got most of the points, he barely got in third place. And then David Finlay, who actually surprised us the most and was the number 2 seed in the A block against Take Shitta in the B block, which is the third seed. So that's how that worked. So that actually, yeah, that's how that worked. And then the winner, so Shota, the winner of Shota and Suji would take on Evil, and the winner of Finlay and Take Shita will take on Zack Sabre Jr. in the semis.
we could have.
Basically NFL style up in this bitch.
I could have just went to night um to the 14th, and we could have just talked about those two matches.
Well, I just wanted to give people how they came up with the formula, which is New Japan, get your shit together. Pick a formula and stick with it. Cause
Yeah, the last like four.
the last 3 years has
Yeah,
been some shit.
it was really confusing.
Well, I mean, the
Especially
best
with
one was
the
kind of like the
CMD part.
ABCD because that made sense. ABCD made sense because it was like the World Cup.
I hated the ABCD.
Well, I mean, but it was way more pleasing mathematically.
I mean, I just like two blocks, 10 people. If you it leaves room for
Round
more.
robin.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
leaves more
round robin. You like
interest.
the round robin.
It leaves more potential matchups that we haven't seen in the past that we wouldn't necessarily have seen if it wasn't for them being in the tournament. You know what I mean?
Who the fuck wants to see a dream match with Yoshihashi 10 times?
But I mean, Moxley and Yano, that was a match that we never knew we wanted to see until it came on our television screen.
Yeah, Moxley and Yano was one. That was one for the ages. That was that was one for the ages. That was when Mox was on his "Don't Give a Fuck" tour. But anyway, uh,
So,
yeah.
before we get into the quarters, how would you rate this G1 so far? How did you feel about it?
I mean, I thought I needed Pepto Bismol with Yoshihashi in first place. So, but then the gods helped me with that. But overall, it actually the way that they pushed the story is the story of Suji was interesting. I think everything, and considering that they had to probably switch up all. I mean, I think they weren't going to switch up the Suji story regardless. It just became exacerbated when Zack Sabre Jr. became the champion. Uh, so it just made it a lot more interesting in that regard because I don't remember if oh damn, who was the previous champion? Was it damn, what was his name?
Um, Goto.
Goto. So was Goto slated to be in the G1?
Yeah, he got injured, and that's why.
That's right. He got injured. Zack Sabre Jr. was already in it, became champion.
Yeah, and Yoshihashi replaced Goto.
Really? No, because Yoshihashi beat Caleb Newman. Oh no, not Caleb Newman. He beat
Chase Owens.
Chase Owens.
It
Chase
was
Owens punk ass
Tai Chi.
couldn't get the job done.
Tai
Tai
Chi
Chi
took
came
his.
in.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so that makes sense. See? So I mean so basically having to basically switch it or the story changed on the fly like that, uh, I have to give him props for it. It was pretty solid, consider all things considered.
You know, I honestly, to me, it was a bit lackluster. When the only, big name that you have in there is Tanahashi, um, you know, that's a problem because you need names. And, as much as I like Suji and I want Suji to do well, he's not a big name yet. So, you can't. I get that they're in a rebuilding phase. They're trying some shit. But they don't got the names or the the personalities to really drive home, a really interesting, G1 in my opinion. It kind of this was like when you have to pull from the second and third string in order to fill out a tournament, and
Hmm.
your best foreign athlete from another country is, a Konosuke, which is not technically from a foreign country, Japanese. Um, it's it's it just kind of shows you where they are right now. Like I said, a couple years ago they had fucking John Moxley in this tournament. Now, you have Konosuke. Even like having somebody that's from like Noah just to kind of switch things up, like when they had Mara Fuji in there. It's just enough to be, a variable, so to speak.
Hmm.
I The matches were decent. There was a couple of standouts for sure, but they need to get on making, bigger stores, or outsource to countries, to other places, to get a couple of big names to attract the people to come to these shows, in my opinion. But like I said, rebuilding phase. For what they had, they did well, and obviously right before the G1 started, Goto got injured. Gabe Kidd literally got injured on his first match. So I mean, it definitely wasn't perfect to say the least. You know?
I mean, yeah. So, like, that's what I said. I give him a solid. It was solid considering what they were trying to do. And yeah, they didn't have the names, And the names are what makes it, or we usually be like what block is the block of death because of all the names and the potential matchup. So I do miss that aspect of it. But in this instance, they used the G1 to actually create the newer generation of what they're trying to do. Because Shota winning it was huge for him. Because the
Shota
crowd may
winning.
not be on his side. No, I'm talking about making the finals, right? Making the quarters. Shota placing in the block is huge for him because you don't see any other way you would. There's no other pathway for him to be seen in that upper echelon light unless it's the G1.
Right.
Right. That's why I give them the solid because it did what it was supposed to do in setting up their two future stars in Suji and Umino as major players for years to come. It kept Oleg as this guy who is could be a possible world champion one day as a Gaijin. Zack Sabre Jr., of course, the torch carrier right now. Take Shida is just on a roll this year. Um, so I mean, the players that they were trying to highlight definitely shined. It's just like you said, it's you have to start somewhere to get those names, and I think this was probably the best group of people to make the final. Evil found his swag again. Jesus Christ, I'm just telling you, Evil seemed lost for like 5 years.
How Evil got his groove back.
Evil got his groove back. So and that's my point. So it's like the people that it got some people back in the mix, and then it highlighted the people that they want for the future. So you can't help but do you want the big names? Yeah, but you got to start here. This is where it starts.
Right. Well, let's get into it. For the 14th quarterfinals, Konosuke took a W on David Finlay. If you're a Gaijin, you ain't right, sing. 17
Nah,
minutes.
Take Shitta did not fly all the way from AEW. I keep telling you this. He did not fly all the way for these L's, homie.
No, he did not.
Except the 50-50 because he gonna lose the. Well, no,
He took
he
him out
might
to
be
50-50.
50-50. Oh no. He might win the semi
Oh.
because now beating him, him beating Finlay, he faces 50-50.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna. Oh, well, I mean, it is 50-50. And the last 50, Zach won. So, yeah, we could see take a shit in the finals. And the second finals was Sota Uno taking an L to Yoda Suji in 28 minutes, 18 seconds. Gene Blaster. Yeah, this was right. Suji needs to get that much needed G1 win. I could have made the argument he should have won it last year, even though I didn't watch last year. Um, he needs to be your IWGP World Champion. That's just my opinion. He's your next superstar. He's ready right now. He's there right now.
I mean, they're gonna get him there. Like I told you, I thought this match would have been the final.
Right.
Uh, but we got it way sooner than I would have liked. So yeah, but the right person won. Suji won. Uh, Shota looks good in the loss, and it just shows you why they're gonna be like rivals for years to come.
Oh yeah, this is
For
one of billions of matches they're gonna have in the future.
oh yeah, so this ain't over by a long shot. But right now it's Suji's path to the semis, and he gets Evil, who also beat him in the tournament. So this 50-50 shit is really for the
Yeah.
This
So,
this 50-50 shit really finna hit different.
and yeah, August 16th, Saturday, both today. Well, technically, if we're being technical about it, this already happened. Yoda Suji versus Evil and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Konosuke, take a shit. So yeah, Suji versus Konosuke, no? That's gonna be our final.
That's the final with Take Shitta being so close to flying all the way from AEW, leaving the Callis family to almost get the G1, but coming up short to Suji. Or they might shock the shit out of us. You never fucking know.
Shock the shit, but take a shit?
I mean, shock the shit would take a shit.
Well, I think that's what we'll.
However,
Yeah.
my money is on Sushi. I ain't that damn goofy.
Agreed. Well, I think that's where we'll end it. That's where we'll conclude our G1 Climax coverage. Um, end this episode as a whole. Next week we'll have the finals down, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about Triple Mania as well, and whatever else happens in the week of pro wrestling. Um, yeah. If you like what, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. Both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and when this upcoming Tuesday and Wednesday as we interview Romeo and Funny Bone, and join us next Saturday as we preview and review what we just spoke about. And follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko. Next week, I will actually be on time at Lucha. I'll actually be on time at Lucha Boom. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of interesting Mexican wrestlers that are coming through. So I am one for one stoked.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
And this time I'm just gonna make sure I have the backpack like Dora, so that way it'll talk me there, make sure I'm on time,
I think you're
because
talking
I don't
about
want
the
to be
map.
there like the. Nah, I'm gonna take the backpack too. Backpack. You gotta put it in the backpack.
Yes. The map, the map, the map, in the
On the map, on the
backpack.
backpack. Yeah, there you go. Back. Yum 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 yum. Delicioso.
Just, just be careful you don't get swiper no swipey.
I mean, considering it's in LA and they got robots delivering food now, I was motherfuckers swiping all over the place on them.
4 letters, 1 word, yeet.
I mean, yeah. Or 4 letters.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.